thank you for joining me for this webinar session of vendors or providers and service orders. We're going to take the next 30 minutes to discuss that opportunity to manage your service orders through your transaction files or your transaction desk account. Keeping in mind this is a nationally broadcast webinar, so all the icons or branding and terminology might not be exactly the same, but as you see on your account at home, but certainly all the actions are the same. So like Forms Online Gold, you may be more accustomed to seeing Instinet forms or e-forms. Just keep the root there in focus. Forms, that's where your forms are. Your branding might not be the same, but bear with us as we go through this national webinar process. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and discuss just these two items, webinars at instanetsolutions.com. Please don't hesitate to follow up with feedback, questions, comments, general observations, delicious summer recipes, anything that would be appropriate. But please do take advantage of scheduling follow-up webinars. They're free. They can be tailored to your specific need for your office or your real estate team to make sure that we can help you implement the features and benefits so that you're taking advantage of this great opportunity. TransactionDesk.com/webinars. A complete scheduling of all webinars that we currently have scheduled through the end of July. Certainly we'll be adding dates in August and September and moving forward, but TransactionDesk.com/webinars, forward it to anyone you think would benefit. They're unlimited and they're free, so please sign up for as many as you would benefit from attending. With that said, going to drop this message. We're looking at the basic home view of Transaction Desk or Instinet Forms account. What we're going to focus on today is providers or vendors and service orders. So I'm going to click here because the first thing I'm going to do is show how to set one up, because you need to set up the providers before you can submit requests from them. So the first thing we're going to do is go here to Service Providers, and we're going to manage or create a new service provider and click on Continue. You see we have a few that are in here. A couple of shared service providers, Ben's Workshop, Martin the Boss, these service providers. But what we would like to do is add a new service provider, and we're going to go ahead and click on Go. This is where we can add the contact's name. We're in the General Information section. As you can see, General Information. We can also add additional address or additional information to this provider. So the contact name would be the person, and we're going to call it Steve. Let's see if he's in here already. Steve Handy. And Handy is, we're going to add our own custom type of service provider, because we're going to call him a make ready. And it's just this easy to add your custom provider types. He's a make ready, and we're going to add that service provider. You can see he's automatically added into our provider types. Our make ready. We have an email address here for him. We'll add that in. If there's an alternate email address, we could add that as well. But in this case, we're going to stick with that email address. We're going to go over to the work information. His company. I know I'm calling this one Handy Hands. And he is the CEO of Handy Hands Make Ready. And we can add address information if that's appropriate. And all other information. The items that you want to absolutely have added in is obviously his name and the company, the type of provider, but the fax number and the email address, because this is going to give you the opportunity to deliver these requests to them electronically, either via fax or email. So here's the work fax. If you want to be able to fax service orders to him, add that fax number in. If you want to be able to email these requests, add that email or alternate email in. Once you've made all of your updates, make sure to save that change. Anytime you make a manual update, be sure to make a manual change. Click on Save Service Provider. And now Steve is in our list of service providers. You can see it's a little different icon. These were actually created by our managing broker. The managing brokers can create these global items for the realtors affiliated with their office. but we can always create our personal ones, and you can just kind of see that different icon for our personal make ready or our provider that we like to use within our transaction files. So that will take us to the next step here. I'm going to go back to the Home tab, because what we'd like to do is now start a new transaction file, benefit from creating this transaction file and managing our service orders online. I apologize if I didn't mention it. Let me go back in here just real quickly, because you can have non-transaction specific service orders. You don't need to attach it to a specific transaction file. You certainly can, but you don't have to. If it's a non-transaction specific, or if it's in lead up to, or maybe it's for mandatory continuing education. They're your service providers. They're the online courses that you take. Again, use it for not only for your transaction files, but for your business profession as well. For your professional education or your professional needs, you can utilize the features and benefits. So you can create non-transaction specific service orders. But what fun would that be in our demonstration here? We want to have some fun. We want to create a new transaction file. We want to add detail as to our transaction file, and part of that detail will be our service orders. So with that said, I am going to go back to the home screen now. Just wanted to point that out. Apologize if I hadn't done that previously, but certainly want to make that known. You can create non-transaction specific service orders. But we're going to go in here to start a new transaction, and we are going to create a transaction file and attach a service order specifically to that file. So with that said, the first thing I always recommend you do is choose the type of transaction that you're going to be working with. In this case, just for this example, let's go ahead and choose a residential sale. It's going to be a residential sale transaction. We're going to be representing the buyer, some service orders that we may need to utilize: home inspectors, make-readies, surveyors, appraisers. Certainly people providing that type of service. Maybe if you are representing a seller, maybe they're out of town or out of state, they've moved, and you're representing a vacant home. You could have a lawn service or landscaping, or other services to manage that property while under your care and under your listing agreement. But again, I digress. Residential sale transaction type, importing data from, in this case, Daytona Beach, and we're going to put in my MLS ID. I'm importing this property information into my new transaction file to start my transaction. I'm going to opt out of the wizard for this demonstration and click Start Transaction. Again, this is more primarily focused on service orders and providers. I'm going to go through these steps. If you need more time or have questions or would like to see demonstrations for starting transaction files or working for a full overview of either full transaction desk, Instinet Forms plus DocBox, or Instinet Forms only, please do sign up for those webinars. We can go through step by step and talk a lot more in depth about these the opportunities to start transaction files, utilizing both MLS information or public record data to start those new files, and we can talk more thoroughly about the entire process. But we started our new transaction file. We're in what's called the transaction overview screen for 209 Birkdale Drive. If you notice, I didn't give the transaction a name. I allowed Transaction Desk to name this file for me. It is the name of the property address affiliated with our MLS ID. I can certainly change that at any time within the general information of this transaction file, but again, that's a whole different session. You can see too, just from looking at the transaction overview screen, we had a quick start group of forms automatically attached. We have an activity plan of workflow and to-do lists to be automatically attached. We had a fax back cover sheet and some contacts automatically included in our transaction file. The best way, absolutely the best way to manage your sale process online utilizing full version of Transaction Desk, forms, unlimited online document storage, and unlimited toll-free faxing, task management for workflow and necessary to-do items. you can assign these items to anybody who is in contact to the transaction file. But what we're focusing on now is service orders. So here we are in the service orders. Let me just go transaction overview screen of our 209 Birkdale Drive transaction file. All these links here are pages to this transaction file, including the service orders. This is where we can manage our service orders for this particular transaction file. Clicking on service orders, it's going to give me the opportunity to submit this service order request. I'm going to create a new service order. I'm going to select Go. Now we're going to go through the steps to create this service order and deliver it via fax, print, or email to our provider for work to be completed during our sale process. So the transaction is Birkdale. The order type for this, we see it here: appraisal, financial, home inspection, insurance, title. We're going to call it Make Ready. Again, we're going to add this service order to our service order types, and we'll call it Make Ready Service. And we just add service to the end here, something to that effect, and it's going to add that service type automatically as a custom type to our list. Okay, once I choose the type, again, if you're familiar with the transaction wizard, it's going to walk us through step by step. Every time I click Next, the detail that I've added will be automatically saved. Click Next. You can see Steve Handy is here. We've got one that's actually considered a preferred service provider and created by our broker in our office that we're affiliated with. He created this preferred service provider for us for that type of situation. We're going to use Steve Handy for our handy hands. We're going to select our provider. It's going to add him in. It's going to add in some of his detail. I can also decide who I want to include within this. So definitely myself and my client will be... Whoops, that's not my client. That's the listing agent. But again, I do want the listing agent to be included. I want them to know that this Make Ready service is going to be participating, that they're going to be doing some work at the property. She's going to be notified of these items. I'm going to put a request time and date. I can use the calendar here to request this time. When do we want this to be completed? We'll just say Tuesday the 29th at 11 a.m. is our requested time. Obviously, we don't always know if we're going to get that. Just because we're submitting it doesn't mean it's a guarantee. We will need to follow up with our service provider. Here's the detail: the street, the city, the state, the zip. We can add any additional detail. We can add additional notes down here for the provider. If there's anything specific, any items that need to be specifically addressed, that opportunity to add that additional information is down here. Certainly have that opportunity to add that additional detail to your service request. I'm going to go ahead and click on Next. Again, the detail that I add will be automatically saved, and we'll go to the next step, which is the opportunity to attach any documents. Maybe you have a signed service order from your client. Maybe you have a security code combination you need to get to the that's maybe not a good one to be sharing via faxing or documents, but certainly a signed invoice or work order request that's been signed by the client to move forward with that. So let's just go ahead and upload a document. I would like to upload a document, select a document from DocBox, or select a form from my forms library. In this case, let's just go ahead and upload a document. Let's just say that clicking on Go, or perhaps your client has gotten you this signed service order invoice. Maybe they faxed it back to you, so it would be in your DocBox. Again, the best place, or wherever you have it saved, I'm going to use the upload utility to add. I'm going to find the appropriate file on my desktop or shared network drive. I'm going to find the appropriate file. In this case, we do one of these samples. Maybe it's a sample survey, so the Make Ready can see the layout of the ground. Maybe they're going to be doing some landscaping or cleaning up some brush, and they need that survey to make sure that they know the property lines and so forth. So I choose the appropriate document, and I upload the document to my transaction file. The document will be uploaded and attached to my service order request. I can continue to add documents. I could delete the attachment if it's not the right one or appropriate. But again, once I complete that action, I'm going to click Next. That detail has been saved, and I move forward to the next step, which is the delivery of this service request to my provider. Again, the method of delivery: email, print, or fax. Watch with me here. Email, accountdemos@gmail.com. If I choose fax, it changes it back to the fax number that we had created when we set up our provider. Again, I tried to emphasize that while we were setting up the provider, but certainly want to re-emphasize it now. When you're setting up your provider, if you want the opportunity to either email or fax, you want to add that detail to your service provider. This is also giving us the opportunity to, I'm going to choose email, opportunity to include a fax back cover sheet. So certainly if they're going to fax us back a completed work order along with the final invoice, maybe we'll say final invoice make ready, or handy hands. Something to that effect. We can add an additional message on there, just again as a reminder for us why that came through and what we're going to do with it. But we add in that detail. We can add additional recipients to this email if we want to copy ourselves, if we want to copy our client, just so they know that that this has been submitted and that we are moving forward with this make ready service. You can add those additional recipients as well. Once you've done all the appropriate actions, again, click on Next. Clicking Next is going to save all the detail. It's going to do a final review of the order. So we go through, make sure everything is spot on, and then we create our order and email it to our recipients. So once we click that, these details cannot be changed. It's okay. We've created it, we've reviewed it twice, we're ready for it to be shot out. We have now submitted an email service order request to our Handy Hands Make Ready provider. It had the notes and details about the request. We attached documents that are going to support the request, the signed invoice, the survey, whatever's the appropriate. We included any copies on the email, maybe our client, maybe the listing agent would have been appropriate, although I think we selected them in one of the steps in setting it up. So you have the opportunity to communicate it to everybody within the transaction file. You have a way to follow up through your transaction file. If you're familiar with the participant website, you can certainly give access to these service orders through that participant website to participants to your transaction file. If you're not familiar with participant access to your transaction file, it is a 30-minute session. It's definitely worth a sit to be able to share your transaction file detail with contacts to your transaction. Any contact to your transaction can be offered what we call participant access. But again, I digress off of the main purpose of this session, providers and service orders. So now we have completed our service order. We can certainly take a look at it if we wanted to, but let's just go back to our transaction overview screen. I'm going to see if there's any questions that are being raised to this point. If you'd forgotten to add the fax or want to go back, yeah, you just go back into the providers or service orders and edit that provider to update that email address or that fax number to make sure you have the most current one on file. But again, accessible from anywhere you find yourself with internet access on a computer, laptop, desktop, or tablet PC. You can access these service orders. You can manage them utilizing the unlimited document storage and toll-free faxing. You can keep all these documents together online and available not only to you but to your contacts and participants, the realtors that you share within your office environment, and anyone else that would be appropriate to share your transaction file with. That really is vendors and service orders. So let's just recap. We took a look at how to create or submit a provider or a vendor within that scenario. Is very easy, step by step. Add their detail, their name, their company, their contact information. We could have submitted a service order through there, what I'm calling non-transaction specific service orders. Not exclusively tied to a specific transaction, but workflow that you need to have completed for your real estate profession. We then created a new transaction file by importing data from the MLS. To that new transaction file, we had a quick start group and an activity plan automatically auto-associated to our new file, as well as a fax-back cover sheet and a couple contacts, including ourselves and the listing agent and broker imported from the MLS. Within our transaction file, we then created a service order for some make-ready service so that the house could be properly cleaned and yard could be mowed and tended to. So again, real-world scenario. Hopefully it is appropriate to your business practice. But honestly, with no further questions, I'm going to raise this audio message again. If you do have requests for follow-up webinars, please don't hesitate to email those requests, webinars@instanetsolutions.com. We can tailor those sessions to your specific need for your office or your real estate team. We can discuss implementation strategies. To that email address, you could also send feedback, questions, comments, general observations, tickets to football games, whatever is appropriate. Web address, transactiondesk.com/webinars. A complete list of our upcoming webinar schedule through the end of July. We will continue to offer and add dates into August and September and moving forward, but right now we're scheduled through the end of July. Please take a look. They are free, they are unlimited, so please certainly register and attend as many as would be beneficial to you. Also, forward this information to anyone you think would benefit from it. So again, with no further questions, I really do appreciate the opportunity to present, the time, energy, and effort that you took to participate today, and I really do look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.